You know, everyone has that one teacher that they would never forget. Now, I have one teacher that I never forget. She taught at the school for the deaf. I was in about third or fourth grade. And she was so short, I used to look at her and think, I'm sure she's a midget. Her hair was so long and curly, and she had like a little bouffant on the top of her head that made it look taller. At her desk, she had a special step stool. If she would remove her step stool, her legs would dangle. And then at the blackboard, she had like a step stool that she could stand up and write. But if she never stood on it, we couldn't see her. So she had to stand on it so we can see her better. She also had this special ruler that she could write on the board with. It was forbidden for anyone to touch the ruler. She was the only one that could touch the ruler and write on the board. It's very interesting. Some morning in the classroom, she would write on the board and have interpreting every Monday. And then we would come into class and she would do English. She would lift up the shades and she would explain the English. And she would ask if we understood it, and I would say, no, I don't understand. And then she would get someone to start signing, and I'm like, oh man, I understand now. And I would think you should use ASL, we're deaf, so I really understand that. She would explain the English, and when we were done, she would write more on the board. And you know that ruler that we couldn't touch? She used a wet rag to wipe the board. But if she didn't, it would be blurry and it would bother me all day, and my head would hurt, and I would have to sit behind a boy in order for me to see, and it felt like my head was getting squoze. Further on, my head still hurt. The next boy, later on down the line, I would tell him that. In the next classroom, I would try to hide and make sure that my head wouldn't hurt. So next time I went to the class, I would play like, how do you know? I would think about it. She's a wonderful teacher. She taught us so much, and we learned so much, and we learned a lot. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I loved her. That teacher I would never forget.